Let's go. Hello,
Yep.
and very warm welcome to the Happiness Chat. We often hear people saying, when I get this promotion, I will be so happy. But do all the promotions actually make us happy? I'm not talking about the momentary happiness. I wanted to hear it from the person who has climbed all the way to the top to actually know the truth. I managed to convince him to join me for the happiness chat. I had the privilege of working with him in my previous job where he was the CEO. There's a beautiful quote that reminds me of him. If you want your team to accomplish great things, you must first show them that you truly care. From my interview till my last working day, I truly felt cared for and appreciated. I wanted to acknowledge that and no better opportunity than here and now. It gives me great pleasure to welcome my guest, Dan Koornneef, to the Happiness Chat. A very warm welcome to you, Dan. I am truly delighted to have you as my guest today.
Thank you very much, Shilpa. It's a pleasure to be here to start with. Also, with modern technology, that we're actually able to see and talk to each other, which is an achievement that in itself that I think is worth just doing this stuff. So I'm more than happy to be here today and to talk with you about happiness, I guess, but there's a lot more to it. And to immediately open the door there, you said, who reached the top? Well, I don't think I reached the top yet. There's still many years to come and many ventures to go. So anyhow, let's talk about that.
That's perfect. I also have a very similar bent of mind, I must say, because I live with the quote, the best is yet to come.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, so there's a certain pattern that we see in corporate jobs, but your story is very different. From serving in the Royal Dutch Navy to getting into the corporate world. Now, that's a real shift. How did that happen?
It is a little bit of a long story, so I hope I don't lose all the listeners when I'm telling that. Um, but it started actually way before I actually started working. I'm the son of a teacher, my dad, and a nurse who also climbed the ladder in their lives, never driven by ambitions or money, to be honest. They were really caring people that really cared about society. The fact that both of them were born during World War II, and my dad 8 years before World War II, meant that they found a country that needed to be rebuilt. And although both my grandfathers were businessmen, my parents were definitely not into business and really cared about other people and serving community, whether it was in politicians, whether it was just the parties that were organized in the village. I mean, my parents were involved in all of that. Um, um, so when I grew up, I learned a lot, but not that money was important. Also, that status was not really important. So when I was a bit of a difficult kid. I need to mention that too. When I was between 12 years and kind of like 20 years old, perhaps 19, I was really not an easy kid. I was kicked out of school 3 times, although my dad, being a teacher, always kept me in, but I needed to do extra years. So from a corporate perspective, that was not really the best start for a career. I felt, however, due to the many jobs that I did, I was, by the way, I was trading in motorcycles, I was riding motorcycles, I was doing that kind of like stuff, but I also needed to make money. So I was just working in factories, just work with my hands, putting things in boxes or just that kind of like stuff. So I felt at an early age that there's like I have to do something with my life. This is not, I cannot be, with all respect for the people that do that kind of like jobs, but after 2 weeks normally in a job, it would really drive me crazy. And when I grew older, I really gladly went to school and you know, and started going into the direction that I wanted. Now, at one time I had to make a choice to go to university or do something else. So university, one option was studying civil technology and psychology at the same time. Another direction was art university, and the third one was the Navy. Well, totally nobody understood how on earth you could have these totally different options as your choices. Yeah. And actually I was allowed in all three directions to go there, and I decided to go to the Navy. Why the Navy? Being a kid, very active in sports, I just thought that you know, rather I can sit behind a desk the rest of my life. I just want to do, you know, the boy stuff, jump out of helicopters, swim in the sea, go to countries and meet people, not necessarily kill them, by the way. That's a big mistake. We really wanted to save people. And that's why I joined the Navy. Uh, I served 12 years. I did my education over there. Um, while I was in the job, I noticed that everything from a lieutenant to being a captain is kind of like, a lieutenant commander is good fun. But then the action goes away and you end up behind the desk. So when I did all the things I could do, I felt that there was more than just staying in the Navy for the rest of my life and doing the same thing over and over and climbing up very slowly. I wanted to venture life. I wanted to venture other stuff. So at 32, I left the Navy, and I did not just go to any company outside of the Navy. I wanted to work for a salvage company, maritime salvage. Being a diver, working with explosives, doing all of that stuff, for me that seemed like like a logical step to continue being the action man, doing all of that fantastic stuff, saving vessels from beaches, preventing oil pollution, saving cargo and people and so on. That still sounded like the Navy, like an adventurous job. So I left the Navy from being kind of like a commanding officer of small teams, and actually supposedly to become a salvage master, and also, you know, go on a job and manage, you know, like smaller teams and you know, just doing all that fantastic good stuff that these guys are doing. Unfortunately, and I say that between brackets, in the time between leaving the Navy and joining Weissmuller, a salvage and towage company at the time, that company Weissmuller felt that they really lacked general management, and they had this kind of like Navy guy that was schooled in you know, high level management, and so in the 3 months between me leaving the Navy and joining Weissmuller, I gave all kinds of advice on management, like, oh, and then, you know, we got this problem. How would you do it? So, oh, I would do this or that. So the day I arrived, I said, well, I'm surprised for you. You're not going to be a salvage master in this company. We make you general manager. I said, yeah, well, you know, like, I said, oh, yeah, but if you're general manager, you decide what you can do. You can go on a job if you want, and you can do, you know, just give some advice how the company should be structured. So that's how I found myself at 32 as a general manager of a small, however, you know, a little multinational company. So I told you it would be slightly longer than 3 minutes on this one.
Worries. But tell me something, when you were this troublesome child between 12 and 20, and then when you joined the Navy, did you ever think that you're going to be a CEO?
Uh, Not necessarily. I never, you know, I mean, being a CEO is not in itself an ambition. Leading people and finding yourself leading people, that is perhaps something that I knew from a very young age. in the little village where I lived. By the way, my nickname was the director. I don't know, but they called me the director. I don't know. As I said, it's good if you can lead people. I have a bit of a difficulty, and that's why my puberty was a little bit problematic with people telling me what to do. I really have some authority issues there. Apart from the fact that I can definitely listen to good advice, but if someone tells me something stupid, then he can be 10 times my boss. But I simply don't take it for granted, and I will always question that. And I learned probably on high school that I better be on top of the ladder than someone telling me what to do, and me fight all that energy fighting the guy or the girl that's trying to be my boss. Perhaps that's arrogant, but it's simply how it developed.
I'm glad that you said that, because my next question is just that you were amongst one of the youngest CEOs. So how did you climb the corporate ladder so fast?
Um, well, I answered it perhaps to a certain extent. I can elaborate a little bit more. To be honest, and I told you about my problems on high school. When I joined the Navy, I was 21 years old. And actually, if you do the regular way, then most of my peers in Navy Academy were like 18 or 19 years old. So that was not really a good start. Also, I didn't know exactly what to do when I was in Navy college. So I spent a lot of time on sports, and I'm not really busy with my career and being the most excellent student. Um, um, uh, and I just at one stage knew that what I wanted to do. I became a diving officer, explosive ordnance, which is for an academy officer at the time in the Dutch Navy. It was not really a career path. Everybody basically told me, "So Dan, this is the end of your career. You should go into the frigates and be a big man on a big vessel instead of a." With these divers and the adventures, these lunatics, and it will never amount into anything. And to be honest, when I after that joined Weissmuller, again, a lot of people told me it's like, oh, you shouldn't go to that company because they just came out of a bankruptcy and everything is bad and not good. And I said, well, I think I believe in what these people are doing. I believe in what that company can do. So I step into it. So the answer is that I probably took a little bit more risk than other people's going into jobs that were not like standard companies, not like a standard career path. And perhaps I had a little bit of luck as well at the moment I looked at that specific company and they had this vacancy for this general manager. So it's a combination of these three things.
Awesome. I so agree with you. I think adventure just runs in your blood because that's the way you are. So tell me, you've like been there, done that. You've dealt with challenges from a very young age. So what advice would you give to the COVID troubled world?
Most danger is to a certain extent in your head, and it's either you don't use your head, so you start doing things that are basically stupid, and that can be very dangerous. I see sometimes like young people running on a train or something like that, which is all it's not a calculated risk. It's not. It's basically well, it's plain stupid. Don't spend a lot of time on it. The same thing with the same thing with danger is fear, and fear you can overcome if you learn something like you have a legal background, about the Lloyd's Open Form. A Lloyd's Open Form where you basically commit yourself to services against best endeavors can be a very challenging and dangerous activity. if you don't know what you're doing. But if you study it, if you learn from the best people, you gain experience, it actually becomes a total different game. And I'm saying this because, with COVID, there's a lot of fear with people. If I, I'm here in the Netherlands, and at the moment, all the statistics are really bad. The amount of cases is almost exponential, and people then fear about what it can do to the economy. Can we do the second? And I think it's not that bad. If I walk around, I mean, in this country, it's a fantastic country. We don't have, people living on the street. We have a lot of securities, and perhaps some people have to pay a little bit more tax. Perhaps the government at least needs to incentivize. But this fear for the Dutch economy completely collapsing is something that's merely in the heads of some people. And mind you, I have all respect for people that running a restaurant and their restaurants are being closed, and some of them will go bankrupt. This is not like it will be easy, and there will not be tears somewhere along the path as you go forward. But don't let fear drive your future endeavors. Things go on. People will always need food. People always need entertainment. People will always need, to do things. If you look around, all the benefits, whether it's your air conditioning or your heating, your roofing, all that stuff will not disappear in 1 year of COVID. We will not fall back, and I refuse to accept it. We will not fall back to prehistoric times that we live in a cave again. We really came a long end from there. And I think if you kind of like stick together and find ways to socialize. I mean, you know me, I like to be engaging with people, and I really like that kind of like physical, well, but that contact when you're together in a room and you can share ideas. It's much more difficult to do it today, but look at what we're doing today. We're still connecting to a lot of people. We can tell the story, we can connect. We just have to adjust. We have to be agile, and again, just put yourself some things that you want to do in your life. Put yourself, and then just be agile, be have a lot of perseverance. Just push on. Try to make the best of it. Don't fear. Don't enjoy life. I mean, I just came back from the beach. It's fantastic weather. COVID or no COVID, it's fantastic. So that's my advice. Just go on, and don't let anybody tell you what to do or what to fear in particular. Just go and do it. Live your own life.
Absolutely. I just totally agree with you. That brings me to your hobbies. Uh, Hobbies are something that we all indulge in because they make us happy. I know that you have some dangerous hobbies that drive your adrenaline high. Would you like to share them with us?
Well, I mean, nowadays my hobbies are walking the dogs. I just told you, but no, I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. I like speed, and I like to be on the edge of something. Whether when I was young and doing martial arts, I did full contact, kind of like what they call a Brazilian jiu-jitsu, or actually I did an Indonesian. But the thing being that you always wanted to find, to prove yourself an opponent. Well, as I grew older, that changed a little bit. I know I could be the strongest kid on the block, but I know I'm not the strongest kid in the block anymore. I'm 55 years old. I can't have these impacts and punches. But taking care of your body, I'm basically every day I'm an hour in the gym, or exercising in the pool. I do basically, I exercise my body, and that is still from that time when I wanted to be the strongest kid on the block. The same thing. I've been. My father was a teacher in car mechanical engineering. I grew up with cars and motorbikes, and obviously I like to ride them as well. I raced until recently. Unfortunately, in a combination of working too hard, getting kind of like some malfunctions of my nerve system, which I had to overcome, probably related to stress and too much flying. And again, COVID helps me. I don't fly at all anymore already for 6 months. Um, uh, I kind of like made a mistake while racing motorbikes. So I got a multi bike incident where total of well 5 bikes were involved. Actually, in total was 7, but the 2 were in another incident at the same time. And I got, amongst some other things, a bike with 180 kilometer per hour in my back, which basically broke my back. Um, uh, Luckily, I survived. I had fantastic doctors in Germany who treated me. I was on the verge of being disabled, but I don't know. I could tell the people what to do, and the people knew what to do, and I kind of like I survived and I got stronger again. I'm not racing bikes at the moment. I don't know if I'm ever gonna do it again. I got a lot of other stuff to do. I love to spend time with my kids. We go diving. In the last 2 years, we've been mainly been diving in the Bahamas, and we like shark diving. So so I take my kids, and we go looking for all kinds of shark, from hammerheads to bull sharks, and in the meantime we go current dives on the edge of the Gulf Stream, and try to enter wrecks and stuff like that with the kids. So my wife, she approves it, so it must be safe. But it's just doing that stuff, and I appreciate if people do a board game, which we also do with the family. But you know when people do that kind of like stuff, it's not being macho, or it's not even being that I put that I don't have a Facebook account, I don't Twitter, we don't put pictures everywhere about doing this. Well, depending on from which side you look at it, fantastic things, or stupid things, or both. We just enjoy life, and for us it is a little bit more perhaps on the edge than it is for other people.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I know you. So you have said it. It's good to hear this from you. So tell me, what motivates you to keep going?
Um, well, I have times as well, and you know it. Sometimes it's when you think, I mean, I think nobody, well, perhaps my younger son, but nobody basically ever, has to sit down and think, what is going on here? Why go on? I mean, for me, I had this periods when I was 40 years old. I reached everything. I was managing director. Financially, it was okay, and then kind of like what to do after 40, and I found myself a little bit in a depression. Um, uh, with the company that you and I were both in, at one stage I found myself, so I've got a great team. We built this fantastic company, and again, what's the purpose of it all? Is it money? And you felt that like my targets were all set into financial targets. Yeah, it's safety. We don't want accidents, but basically, if you got 5 targets and 4 are financial, you think, why am I, 50 years old and making money for other people? And you go through these waves, and again, you have to climb out. And when you're younger and you got young kids, you drive yourself, like, I have to make sure that that they have a roof over their head, that they can go to school. When you get older, you have to find other ways. For me personally, and that's the reason why I'm doing a lot of advice work, but I'm also again with a salvage company. It is a lot about doing good stuff. That there is more to it than to life than money. You can't take it with you. The fact that you might have whatever a number of cars or the biggest house or of the town, it's relatively important. It's unimportant at the end of the day. So doing good stuff is a drive for me. We're trying to clean up the oceans in a much bigger context than I've ever done. Trying to create that awareness. I mean, at the end of the day, money is the fuel in the machine. If you don't have money, you can't do a lot. I mean, money is very important if you don't have enough. If you have a company or you drive a foundation, you need financial means to make sure that things happen. Nothing comes for free. So we found a meaning in actually trying to do good stuff. And I said I'm a man from the water. I live on a little island. I live very close to the Dutch Sea. So clean water is for me is the most, it drives me a lot, and I'm trying to find means to just create that we work in sustainable renewable energy. That is very important. And then on top of that, I still like to develop myself. Where we started, do I see myself on the top? No, I just like to learn new things, do new things, go to meet new people, and that is always a big drive too. So,
Wow.
but I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Although it is bordering onto my next question, because this is a happiness chat. So I do have to ask you, what does happiness mean to you?
Happiness, for me personally, means having that ease of mind to actually, enjoy and appreciate what I have. I have a fantastic family, healthy. Everybody's healthy. That alone, and I must say, even COVID, the whole crisis, being 6 months at home. I've not, since I left my parents at the age of 21. I've always been traveling, always been running. And just being here with the dogs and the cats and the kids, and I mean, that alone for me is happiness. I can just appreciate that things are what they are. I mean, it sounds perhaps for some people, yeah, that it's logical, but for me that wasn't always the case. I mean, I still have that drive, but I can really, for me, happiness, yeah, it's just kind of like, and just enjoying it, appreciating it without a single mind. I don't start laughing now. I meditate nowadays, and I can just find my inner self here, and just be thankful and grateful that I'm still around, I'm still alive. That it's been a few times, I mentioned now one, but it's been a few times that I wasn't then. I'm still around, I'm healthy, kicking, so that means happiness for me.
Wonderful, wonderful. Actually, one of the basic mantras of happiness is gratitude. And if you have gratitude, whether it's for your life, for your loved ones, for your health, it's actually happiness is so simple. But we just want to,
Oh,
like, make a big study out of it and make these goals. And that's why I really wanted to have a chat with you, because people who are climbing the ladder, they have all these goals, and then I will be happy, and then I will be happy. But really, that's not the case. I did the science of happiness also from Yale, and they said that this is just a myth. So the purpose of my having you as a guest today was actually to debunk that myth. So I want to say that I felt true happiness when I worked with you, and the fact that we are still in touch and having this happiness chat is enough evidence of that. I think what COVID has shown us is a mirror in many ways and a reflection of what really matters. People in the high and not so high jobs were sacked overnight. With it went their positions, privileges, and egos. It's been the greatest equalizer of our times. So, for all the people who think that climbing the ladder will make them happy, they really need to think, because tomorrow morning there may not be a ladder to climb. What remains are your values, your integrity, your relationships with people. I know that there are bills to be paid and finances to be managed. So we need to look at reinventing, recreating ourselves, since the conventional pattern of work and success seems to be redundant. It's been so wonderful having you over on the Happiness Chat today, Dan. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Shilpa, for giving me the opportunity to talk a little bit about myself. As a CEO, most people know that we love to do that. No, it really was a pleasure. And it was also, really a privilege to work with you as I think one of the biggest examples of a person that can basically, conquer the biggest problems and then be indeed a sign of happiness yourself. Really, I really appreciate and compliment you for that, Shilpa. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. And the beauty of happiness is that it has so many definitions, and the definitions change every day. So, my definition of happiness today is chatting with your CEO with whom you worked 7 years ago. So cheers.
Yep.
And for everybody out there, until we meet again, be happy, be safe. Thank you.
I agree. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.